I put this on the tribe, I'm a whole fucking vibe. I'm the standards redefined, rooted, decolonized, disrupted the paradigm so bitches get deified. Way to wisdom applied, gon' get my niggas inside tonight. With the shits, I be remiss not to oblige to fight. The goddess peeling clouds back just to see the light of day. My niggas going John with a spoon to fucking coordinate. It's all black, everything, drums, bang, bang, bang.
Talking to your roots, bit, barren fruit, bit, had the juice, bitch. Who are you? We 100 proof.
Bring the drums in. Bring the drums in.
And this bitch talking to your roots, bit, barren fruit, bit, had the juice, bitch. Who are you? We 100 proof.
Guess we the ones then.
Yeah, guess we the ones then. It's just me and my crown. They say the trumpet will sound. They say my skin is renowned. Replicates from the ground. Poetry when it's written. Divination was spitted. This melanated conviction. I'm black as fuck on these bitches. My solar plexus, I'm prison. Offspring of the trenches. Hella voluminous pivot. Co on the sun with my glisten. My dialect is tuition. I done set my intentions. All my niggas is God, so call this shit intervention. Look, I put this on the tribe. The crucifix on his side. Nobody been vilified, but still defying the odds like us. Touch the blazer, call me savior like I'm Mary's baby, but I'm arch nemesis of Satan. Pouring up libations, God cadence, call it invocation. Return to greatness, they anticipated. Fuck around and summon the awakened. They yelling Gucci, I'm still FUBU, nigga. This Oromo, this Igbo, this Zulu, nigga.
And this bitch talking to your roots, bit, barren fruit, bit, had the juice, bitch. Who are you? We 100 proof.
Bring the drums in. Bring the drums in.
And this bitch talking to your roots, bit, barren fruit, bit, had the juice, bitch. Who are you? We 100 proof.
Guess we the ones then.
Guess we the ones then. It's just me and my crown. They say the trumpet will sound. They say my skin is renowned. Replicates from the ground. Poetry when it's written. Divination was spitted. This melanated conviction. I'm black as fuck on these bitches. My solar plexus, I'm prison. Offspring of the trenches. Hella voluminous pivot. Co on the sun with my glisten. My dialect is tuition. I done set my intentions. All my niggas is God, so call this shit intervention.
Well, the secret is you got to coordinate. Most people don't coordinate. So you got to coordinate.
I am intentional. I am the sun. I am original. I am the one.
Let's create a universe where the rings of Saturn. I'm the sun, you the moon, and the light reflects. Complementing each other, that makes us just. Energy shared between us is so phenomenal. Astrological thinking on the same thought pattern. Let's create a universe where the rings of Saturn. Our love goes deeper than the meanings, feelings, healings. Coasting on the wings of my eye. You're the air that I breathe. Goddess of my dreams. Put you on a pedestal, placed the one above you. Got you going in circles, showing my love Jones. Putting me in a zone, making this house a home. How long will it take for you to realize? Open up your third eye. Enoch is just God in the physical. Queen, I'm just a man. I need you to understand that I'm God in the physical. I'm the sun, you the moon, and the light reflects.
Hey. Peace, 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 and blessings. Peace and blessings, Starseeds. Hello, peace and blessings. It is your girl, Foxy Roxy. I know you could probably barely recognize me. The lighting is off. The hat is on. But you know what? We in the building. I know. We 37 minutes past due, but y'all made it tonight. And I thank you for being here, Starseeds. Yes, yes, yes. This is Pronoia Starseed Podcast. It is your girl, Foxy Roxy, in the building tonight. It is a wonderful Wednesday, and it is Human Design Wednesday with our wonderful, wonderful human design expert, Claudia, will be in the building tonight. I hope you all are doing well. I know we are a little late, but the activation has begun, and I hope you all are ready to find out more about yourselves. I hope you pulled your charts tonight because I have. My chart will be shown tonight. If you are not participating, well, you will learn about Roxy tonight because I will take advantage of every opportunity to grow thyself. And you should too. So make sure when you are here on Human Design Night, you have your chart. I sent out an email, an inbox on IG with a link to get your own chart. So if you have not done so, you might want to do that tonight. Without further ado, it is not my night tonight. Tonight belongs to another star seed, a beautiful one, a pink one that lights up the sky so bright that I would almost think she was the sun, but she's not. She's Claudia. Welcome, Claudia, to the show.
Wow, what an intro! Fucking poetic genius coming through. All right,
I
I
try, I
see
try.
you. Hi,
Hi, so good to see you.
I'm so excited to be here. I missed you. I
I miss
missed.
you too.
I missed the podcast. I feel like it feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be here.
I
So
know it's been a minute. It's been a while, but I think we are all ready. I think we all need a little dose of human design in our lives. I know I do. I've been doing my research and I'm ready. So,
good.
get into it.
So I feel like Foxy is just throwing me out here, and we can talk human design. We have done several like intro to human design podcasts and an overview, I guess, for anybody that's new to human design. It's a system that classifies humans. It's a system of differentiation, and it is based on your birth chart, your time of birth, and pretty much the human design system says everyone has their individual imprint, came here with their own individual imprint, and it provides a roadmap in terms of how your personal frequency works, how your energy flows throughout your system, and
Hmm.
the themes that you're here to encounter and interact with in this life. And so the human design is based off of a body graph that you pull once you have your place of birth and your date of birth and your time of birth. So similar to an astrological birth chart, and there's a lot of resources online where you can pull a free human design chart. And once you get your human design chart, the very first thing to really kind of focus in on is the type. On the top of your human design chart, there's typically a little box depending on which server you use to get a free chart, but it'll tell you your type. So in
Hmm.
human design, there are 5 types. We have our projectors, we have our manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, and reflectors. So manifesting generators are really a subset of generators. So technically there's 4 types, and just generators are split into manifesting generators and pure generators. And the rarest type, and the one that we rarely really get into, is the reflector. So the
Hmm.
reflector represents 1% of the population, and they are a type that's the easiest to recognize because if you pull your body graph, there's in a regular body graph, there's a lot of different shapes and they're colored in, and there's some that are blank that are just like white. So a person that is a reflector has no colored in centers. It's a person that is completely like a clean slate. Like
Hmm.
the reflector is exactly what it says. This is the embodiment of a mirror. This is a human that will mirror back to you. If you come into encounter with a reflector,
Mm-hmm.
it will tell you a lot about yourself, right? Because if you don't like this person, oftentimes this person's energy is matching your own energy. They naturally match your energy. It's not even something they're fully attuned to and aware of. If you're around them and you got an attitude, they got an attitude. So a reflector really just takes in the environment, and it's very important for reflectors to be mindful of the environment that they're in. Now, every type has a strategy and an authority, and this is also reflected on the body graph. And the strategy and authority point to different things that are pronounced on a person's chart. On the top, there also is the profile numbers. I think the last episode that we did, we talked about the profile numbers, right?
Yep.
I feel like I remember this
Mm-hmm.
back to me. And I say that for reflectors, y'all are beautiful, and I would definitely recommend getting a human design reading because your charts are so unique, right? You're very rare, and there's different nuances. Ultimately, your strategy is to wait a moon cycle before making any life altering decisions. So, reflectors tend to be indecisive human beings. They give that Libra energy of, I don't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. And you're technically, your energy responds to the frequency of the moon. So, shout out to reflectors. I started off with y'all because I never do. There was a part of me that was feeling for y'all. So, from reflectors, from the least common, I'm gonna jump to the most common, which is the generators. So 70% of y'all watching here today, 70% of the world's population fall into the generator category. So when there's a high likelihood that when you pull your body graph, you'll see generator or manifesting generator because it's split right half and half. So there's like 35% manifesting generator, 35% pure generator. So my generators, I am a manifesting generator. I just had to put that out there. So of course I have a lot of biases towards my people.
Of course.
We in here. So the generators, you power this earth. The generators, you are distinguished because you have your sacral defined. So all the centers, all the different shapes and colors on the body graph, they are tied to different centers. So there's 9 centers in total. It kind of corresponds with the chakra system, but a little bit more elevated. There's like a split between some of the chakras. And so certain things are responsible for other things than your traditional 7 chakra system. So in the 9 centers that a reflector has completely blank, all 9 centers are completely blank. The generator has the sacral defined. If you have a person that has everything blank except a red box, still a generator, right? That red box is your sacral. And the sacral in human design is the power source, is the center of energy and drive. And that is your power source that it's your battery. So you wake up in the morning and you have a full battery. And as the day goes on, your battery depletes and then you go to sleep and recharge. So this is the generator life. The 9 to 5 schedule, the 3 weeks vacation, the way that this world was built, it was designed for generators because this is what is optimal for a generator. We can work for a good 8 hours and then come
Mm-hmm.
home and have our downtime and just chill. And live all the better. So, generators, your strategy is to respond. Your authority is typically either sacral or emotional. If you have the sacral defined, you can only have these two things as authority. It would be either sacral or emotional. Half of the world is emotional authority. So, it's an even split. Half of y'all watching could be emotional authority, and half of you not. So, in emotional authority, shout out to y'all. I will insert a little blip for you emotional authorities here. The big thing with y'all design is give yourself time before making a decision that is life altering, a decision
Mhm.
that will impact your life very strongly. Should not be one that you make lightly, and should not be one that you just like. You always want to give yourself as much time as possible, and at minimum 48 hours before making a really impactful decision. So a minimum of 48 hours, or really as much time as possible. And I don't know if we're getting into authorities too much now, but that's just the differentiated. Now for my sacral authority people, my sacral generators, you are humans that are tuned into the time, to the timing. And also for my emotional generators, we have sacral power. And so our sacral power is that our gut gives us a yes or no response when we have to make a decision. So for everybody else, all the other types, and I have to say this because I feel like it's really important for y'all to understand. And when you are communicating with a generator, the best thing you can do is ask yes or no questions. Not what do you think about so and so, not hey, would this be? No, no, no. Yes or no questions are the best thing you can ask a generator. And I promise you, a generator is able to respond to that. But this is the catch for the generators. Generators tend to be people pleasers. And so they will get a response of a no and they will still say yes. And here's what happens to
Mm.
generators when you do that. When you say yes, when your gut said no, you are wasting your energy on something that you were not built for.
Mm.
So you have this power source, but this power source is meant for the things that you are meant for. Like you are here with your own purpose, with your own guidance, with your own mission, and anything that's outside of that, that's not for your benefit, that's not for your pleasure, that's not going to add to your life, that's not going to give you sex, money, or power, which are the three things that really motivate generators: sex, money, and power.
That's why the world
If
run the way it is.
right, like this starts making sense.
Yeah.
So if you say yes to things that are no, you get burnt out because you won't have enough energy for it. Now, if you say
Mhm.
yes to the things that are yes, you will have the energy to see it through. You will have everything that you need to see that from start to finish because that's meant for you. And so your strategy is to respond. It means that you are here to respond to the world. You are here to respond to invitations. You are here to kind of just allow things to come and then give your response. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah, other energies. And I mean, like, yes or no questions will make your life better. Trust. Working with generators is pretty simple. And I mean, we can get into energy here. People that are empaths that can feel other people's energies, bless your hearts. But also, like, and I love this too because I feel like I have people in my life that call me on it. Like, you know, you know when something is a yes, and you know when something is a no, and you also know that when you ask somebody a question and they give you a response, but you know that it really wasn't that response. Here's what I say: if you love this person, for the non-generators, if you love this person, even for the generators, fucking with other generators, but if you love this person and they said yes to you, but you feel it in your heart that it really was a no, think about releasing that person from that.
Mm.
Think about it.
That obligation, because they did it out of wanting to please you versus really having the energy or wherewithal, and it's gonna later on gonna, I mean, it's gonna be something they regret doing because they're not gonna have the energy for it, right? Like,
It's
and it's because they said a yes to something they should have said no to. Yeah, absolutely.
they'll regret it, but also you might ultimately regret it because you knew that it was a no and you let them do it anyway. And then
Yeah,
that shit ain't gonna come out the way you wanted it to. And what
right.
can you do but accept what you get because you knew that that wasn't the person to do that job, but
Yeah,
you still pressed it, right? So let's all be conscious of other people a little bit, right? Us that are
right.
here learning, Let's all be conscious about how to navigate other people's energies as well. This is a little bit more elevated, and I get it. Like, not all of us are on that page, but for the empaths in the building, you know what I'm talking about. You know that when somebody says yes and it's really a no, you know it. I feel like you know it. I know it.
Yep.
You know it.
Yep.
But generators, get your lives together, learn how to say no. This is one of your tasks. When you align to your human design and your pathway and you start listening to your strategy on how to live this life, you have to commit to really honoring those responses within yourself, because it's you talking to you. It's you telling you, yes, do this. No, don't do that. Right? So honor that. Honor that. Learn how to listen to your gut. So I love y'all, generators. Love y'all. There's a lot of intricacies in human design. There's the channels, there's the gates, there's the incarnation crosses, there is all the planets are at different gates activated. There's your unconscious side, your conscious side. So there is a lot to dive into. The most important thing to remember is generators, and my next up, you two, these two energy beings have it the easiest when it comes to human design. So when it comes to putting human design into practice, which this is what I'm all about, right? Like actually doing the things that are going to be impactful for your life. So generators, all you have to do is start listening to your gut. Like you can make a decision today to start listening to your gut. If it says yes, it's yes. If it says no, it's no. If it doesn't say anything, it's a no. Okay, a yes is a yes. Only a yes is a yes. So
Right.
if you get, also a practice that generators can do with other people is have them ask yes or no questions. The first time that I got a reading and they told me this, I was like, oh my god, like I asked myself so many questions and it just blew my mind how much I was so out of alignment with me. I was so out of it.
Mm.
And so, yes or no, follow that hit, follow that response, and respond. Stop trying to force things to happen. Stop trying to like make things work. Allow yourself to like ease on back and respond. Now, my next up is the manifestors. Manifestors. I love manifestors. I love all my human design types. I'm not gonna lie. I love studying everybody. I do. Manifestors are my other energetic beings and also have a strategy and authority that you can implement immediately, right? So manifestors are humans that have their throat defined and have the ability to speak into existence what they desire and what they want to see in this world. They are the ones that initiate. They're the project starters. They're not necessarily the project finishers. They're the project starters. They are the ones that are here to inform others. That is the strategy for manifestors, to inform. And the reason why manifestors have to inform is because it eases the pathway to grant whatever it is that they want. And
Mm.
manifestors tend to always get kind of what they want one way or another, but the pathways are very friction filled because manifestors have an aura that is very powerful and strong and repels other people. And so it's like a protective force. This is a human
Mhm.
that has a lot of power. This is 8% of our population. Y'all carry a lot of energy, a lot of power. What you speak into existence, you shock other people with your word. You impact the hell out of other human beings. Like you trigger the hell out of people. You activate people. Like manifestors just exist to do this. You are the ones that are here to build just by saying like I
Mhm.
want this, I want to see this, I want to, and go for it. So manifestors are the only type that are able to just go for it. They're able to just say this is what I want and then go. It makes it easier for you to get what you want when you announce it, when you inform it, and then you can go and the pathway will be a little clearer than when you just go for it, which is what ends up happening sometimes. Manifestors just end up going for things and then they end up getting in trouble because they didn't really clear that pathway with those spoken words.
Mm.
I find a lot of manifestors tend to have a lot of throat chakra blockages.
Mhm.
another beauty of the human design system is that it's all about deconditioning from the programming that we have gotten over the years. So it's a process of deconditioning. It is about, they say it's about 7 years to fully decondition yourself and really align yourself to your imprint, to your design, and live this life the way you're meant to live it. And so it takes some time and it takes some patience to do that. And so for manifestors, it takes some time for you to learn how to inform, because y'all be stubborn and y'all still be just wanting to do shit.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this life will be easier if you just inform, right?
Just saying.
Let people around you know what's happening. Like,
It's about to
let
happen.
yeah, what is about to happen is correct.
Hmm.
What is about to happen. So the manifestors extend the invitation. Also understand that manifestors have energy, but they have bursts of energy and need lots of rest. So manifestors push out a project and then they need to go to sleep for a little bit of time. They need to sleep, they need to rest, they need to enjoy life. And then in that enjoyment, in that rest, in that period, they will start to get their inspiration for their next project that they're going to push out, for the next thing that they're going to create. So that low time is needed. That sit down and reflect time. Celebrate your wins, but also just take your time to just process and chill out. Learn how to chill the fuck out. You're not so the part about people being programmed is the fact that certain types are conditioned to act like other types. So generators are conditioned to act like manifestors. Manifestors are conditioned to act like generators. Reflectors act like whoever they're around the most. So if a reflector is around a lot of generators, the reflector will be reflecting that generator energy. Now, my next type, you already know. You already know what the next type is. It's projector. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
So for the projectors in the building,
Yeah, we get the
it's
whole, look at that. We get the whole
right.
layout and
The
everything. Look at that.
projectors, we got look at it all here. My projectors. When I talk about programming, projectors tend to be the most programmed human design type. It's not even necessarily reflectors. That's because there's not as much reflectors as there is projectors. But projectors do end up taking on the energy around them, and it's typically generator energy. So projectors tend to try to act like generators. Projectors are not energy beings. Reflectors are also not energetic beings. Manifestors have some wells of energy, but still not as much as a generator. So projectors, whew, I love me some projectors. Projectors are, I wouldn't say the geniuses of the world, by the way. I think projectors really have a magnetism and a power and a sexiness and just like this overall consuming energy. And it is because projectors have this beautiful power of just tapping into your energy, especially generators. Like projectors just kind of grab on and then they can read you very clearly. They can see you, they can feel you, and they amplify your energy. So I want to say the projector in the room is the one with the most energy, is the liveliest one. It's the person that's just is like in a room full of generators, the projector has the most energy because the projector is literally pulling in the energy from the room around them. The thing about projectors, so projectors are every other type. So generators have their sacral defined, manifestors have their throat defined, reflectors have no definition. Projector can have a lot of things defined, but if they don't have their sacral defined, that makes them a projector. So the moment your sacral is empty, you're probably either a projector or a manifester, depending on your other circuitry in your body graph. So projectors can have different authorities. So there are emotional authorities, there are splenic authority, there are self-projected projectors, and there's ego authority projectors. So there's 4 different types of projector. And because there's such a wide variety, It just speaks to the different energy levels that a projector can have and the different things that a projector is here to do. And projectors is very important to study a system because projectors learn most about themselves when they are studying other people. Like in that reading other people is when they're able to understand themselves better. That's why it's a projector. Projectors need a system like human design, like astrology, like, what is it, Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, you name it, like a system in which you can classify human beings and say this person is this way because this, la la la. Like you love to study humans, and a system to help you study humans is the best thing that you can apply in your life because it'll help you because you need to study humans. You need to because you are a little bit different. Your energy works different. Projectors get very conditioned. A lot of projectors tend to not have a lot of definition. Another thing, so what's colored in your chart is your definition, which means that this is your origin. This is your, like, this is what you came here from the cosmos with. What's defined in your chart is you. Is you. You chose that. That's part of your energetic imprint. And the things that are not defined in your chart is where you're pulling energy from the outside in. So that's where you get conditioned from. That's where you have to decondition. That's where you learn the most and you suffer the most. Is all your open centers on your chart. And so oftentimes some projectors have a lot of openness. And so that means they have a lot of messages that they're pulling from the outside in. And your role and everybody, so most people do have, there's a rare there's a rare few. There's a rare like 3% maybe of humans that have everything defined on their body graph. So everyone is, well, a good majority of the people have some openness in their body graph, and that openness, those places of openness is where you expand from. Everything that's defined there, we still have to decondition because we've taken in these messages, but there's still like an origin, there's still an originality to you where those centers are colored in. And then there is the circuitry, which, and the channels and the gates. So every center has gates, so different numbers. And then there's numbers that have like coloring in them, which means those gates are activated either in your unconscious or in your conscious. And then some of these gates are connected to other gates in other centers and they form a channel. So some of us have a lot of channels, some of us have a little bit of channels, some have no channels. Either way, these channels speak to themes that you are here to kind of interplay with in your life. So, whew.
You need get you some water, girl. Go and get you some water. She need to take a little water break because I'm telling you, she just gave y'all a lot of information. So let me just say, y'all. First of all, shout out to you for giving us that synopsis because we went through this, y'all. Now, if you have to go back and watch, go watch. She went very thoroughly into the different profile types, into each of the different manifestor generators project. She went deep, 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 deep. We did this with y'all. Okay. So when we start getting a little more advanced, I'm gonna need y'all to make sure you're coming with your charts. Okay, you got your gas in the back of your car so you ain't running out of gas. You got some little tank because we're gonna keep going. Like we're gonna go deeper into it because we're gonna get more intricate as we go. And as she started to get into it right now, you was talking about the channels and the gates. And to me, that starts getting intricate, right? So, like for the last month or so, I have been focused on gates and channels. Like, what the hell? Why do I have these certain gates and these certain channels? And I have to back it up and say, first of all, it has been a year since we have first started this, me and you here together. You were first on the show. Like I seen our anniversary when I came on your show a while ago, but then I seen our anniversary when you came on recently, and I said, "Oh wow, it's been a year." So it's been a little over a year. And in exploring human design, I will say that you continue to learn, but what you're learning is really pointing you towards things, aha moments. Like, oh my goodness, this is why, this is why. And when I saw that 1858 channel, that joint stuck in my head because I had, y'all don't know how much that judgment and that like I don't be trying to judge, but it's just so hard for me not to like see things that are bad to happen and not speak up. And I realized that like I was listening to a human design expert speak about that channel, and she spoke about the fact that she has that channel and a lot of crazy bad things happen to her in her career because she would see something pointed out. And having that channel is just like being a projector. You have to be invited for that judgment to be called, right? For you to say this is the problem. And if you're not invited, and I never was, like, listen, when I saw a problem, I just wanted to fix it. I'm like, look, y'all don't see this shit? Like, what's wrong with you? And people would get offended, and I'd be like, what's going on? I thought I was a likable person. You are, but you're pointing out our flaws and we don't want to see it right now. We're not there, and we're not inviting you in. And that's something I had to learn. So looking at that channel, actually, like, it made so much sense. And it was like, oh my God, on top of the fact that I'm a projector, like I be wondering why I can't. Like I will sit in a room and sit around and wonder why everybody else is not speaking up. I'm like, why can't I just bite my tongue like everybody else? Like, why can't I just sit here and not say this is, knowing I'm gonna get in trouble, knowing something bad's gonna happen to me, and I still would do it, but I wasn't aware. And that's what human design brings to you, is consciousness and awareness of who you really are and why you're doing these things, and how to kind of find ways to, avoid it so that you are living in your real self and not your not me self, like. And I realized that like I was always looking at other people. Again, the bitterness was, all these people are getting ahead by just biting their tongues, and look at me, I'm speaking up, and look at me, I'm getting trampled on. But that's because I was speaking up when I wasn't being asked. They didn't want to know, and I had to wait for my turn. And I had to learn that without human design. I had to learn it the long and the hard way. You guys got the opportunity to learn it the easy way. And I want to see these charts. Like, you guys got to start sending these charts in, because we definitely are getting free information that I promise you, you got to dig, and you're going to get little bits and pieces here and there. And you got to put it all together. And she's sitting right here with you, asking you, like, okay, what's your questions? What do you want to know? So we've already gone through the basics. I wanted to know if you wanted to get into anything, because I know you got on your pink today, and we were talking about, you had pulled some cards earlier. Yeah, we were talking about a little bit of love. And I don't know, like I know that like it's not based on necessarily profile types, like a projector or a manifester, but more maybe the numbers, if you may be compatible or not.
Okay. So my overall first, before we get into that, I do have to say that I didn't mention the strategy for projectors. The strategy for projectors is to wait for the invitation.
Yes.
So, because Foxy was talking and mentioned the waiting several times, and I just wanted to make sure to make that little piece clear. And all of us in our unique imprints have different channels, and some are projected channels and some are generated channels. And so what this means is that we have a little bit of all the types in some ways. Some of us, right? We're all uniquely created. Now, the waiting for the invitation is why projectors tend to take to human design like in a worse way, because it's like, why we gotta wait, nobody trying to do that. Like, projectors are typically socialized to be either manifestors or generators depending on who they are around. And to hear, and since generators are conditioned to think that they're manifestors, so this is what fucks us up, right? When a generator thinks that it is up to you to go out and get it, right? Only the manifestors are supposed to go out and get it. Like, that whole, like, if you imagine and create it, that like upright. Now there's different nuances to this, but Generators tend to think that they're manifestors, and then projectors tend to think that they're manifestors also, because they think that they're like generators. And then they have to hear, you have to wait for the invitation. Like, you have to be invited in. And then projectors like, hell no. Like, why I gotta wait? Like, all projectors always tend to have this mentality, which I feel
Mm-hmm.
y'all. I feel y'all. You know, I'm an Aries, like waiting, patience. Like, this has been a long journey for me to attain. However, projectors are very powerful in that they have this way of kind of just understanding things and seeing things before a lot of people do. That's why I started with projectors as the geniuses. Projectors, like Foxy, see things, right? Can say like there's something wrong here before a lot of other people. They just notice it. But thing is that if you're in a room full of people and you weren't necessarily invited to speak or invited for your opinion, you can say it as a projector and you will not be heard, you will not be listened to, and you will probably even repel people around you because you're
Mm-hmm.
kind of speaking without your input being sought out. So, projectors, you have to create your own platforms, so to speak, and so allow people to come listen, the ones that are meant to listen to you. And
Mm-hmm.
also, and this is a good way to like be able to express yourself without waiting, so to speak. However, it is the projector strategy to wait for the invitation. The invitations are extended by other types. They'll come to you, they'll recognize you. This is the part that's a little different than the generator. Projectors have to be recognized. So, like Foxy, I recognize that you are a strong force, right? You are you have this magnetism, you have this energy, and I want to be aligned to it. And so I extend an invitation to you. Like I extend an invitation to you. Come on my podcast. Come do a live with me. You know what I'm saying? And I extended an invitation. Now, Foxy has to allow herself her processes to make a decision, right? So oftentimes projectors, when you hear you have to wait for an invitation, you start saying yes to every invitation because you just start thinking that this is the only invitation I got, you know?
Yeah.
Don't fall into those traps. Don't fall into those traps. Just because somebody extends an invitation does not make it the right invitation for you.
Mm-hmm.
And a good way for you to know is if that invitation came with the recognition.
Mm.
So
I like that.
if you can feel recognized by the human that is extending this invitation, that is a clue that that might be an invitation for you. Now, if someone's just extending invitations to extend them, that might not be your invitation.
Right.
So, okay, in regards to compatibility, what I was going to say is there's a lot, like I've done a lot of research about like, oh, which types are more compatible. And ultimately, the things that come across is that it's the best scenario is to date your own type. And I put that in quotations. The best scenario is to date your own type. The reason for that is with the mentality that it's going to be your own type that's going to understand you the best, that's going to be able to identify with you the best. And therefore, it makes that a more smooth dating experience, a smoother partnership experience. But I don't necessarily agree with that. And what? Go ahead, Foxy, because I see your wheels
Because
turning.
I'm a projector and I am not attracted to. Okay, so I've met projectors and I'd be like, at first, I'd be like, they cool and stuff. And then I found out they're a projector and I realized like I have nothing to plug into. Like, okay, you're a projector and I'm a projector. I love generators. Like, yo, generators. I like, okay, so I heard the word, and look, I'm not gonna be offended because I'm a projector. I am almost like a parasite. I do love them. I want that energy. I want to clean. I'm like that little fish on the whale type of shit, like, yeah, I want to ride. And a projector is just gonna be a bunch of sleepiness going on. And that's in my mind, that's what's gonna happen. And then you need to go and sleep in your bed. I need to sleep in my bed. It's like But we're a generator, they add some spice for me personally. They add that spice to you. You know, they keep going, 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 and you're like, damn, I can just plug in and then I can go away for a while. Whereas the projector is always we're both waiting for invitations. We both sitting there looking at each other, looking crazy. Like, I don't know, but I don't know if that's gonna work for me.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. You know, there is a magnetism when there is a being that has that open center and someone that has a defined, right? Because sacral energy is sexual energy. So projectors amplify that energy, right? So it's like this buildup of energy. So it does come to say like, oh, maybe like a projector and projector couple isn't as wouldn't be as steamy, maybe, so to speak. But there could also be a mismatch because a projector amplifies that energy. You might be a little more sexual than the generator. You know what I mean? You might just be like like a lot. You know what I'm saying? There there is such a thing, right? As sexual compatibility with someone. I think
That's
these are
true.
questions. These are good first date questions too. You know what I'm saying? Like how high of a sex drive do you have? Because not all of us want to fuck all the time, but some of us do. You know what I mean? So
It's 11. Come on. You absolutely right. You're right. You're right. Those are good. You know what? That's some real shit. And if y'all never even thought about it, that's what I'm saying. It's so much to think about because you're right. Like when I'm around a generator, yo, shit, fuck that. We could just talk all. I could be up all night. You probably fall asleep before I do. Like, damn, I usually normally go to sleep, but I could pull on that energy. And so, yeah, you're right. That's a good first date question. But then again, people get freaked out when you ask information like, what's your birthday or what town you live in? And so, how do you get that?
wait. So I know some people are more inclined to provide that information than others. It's private information, and even now, like with the internet, people are aware. So like you're gonna pull my chart, you're gonna pull some shit, you're gonna get some information, and you're not. I think though, if it matters, if it's important to know, um, you could just have them do it, right? And just be like, tell me what it says. Like you
Right.
don't have to look at it. But it's just like, hey, click this link and fill it out and then tell me what type you are.
Oh, see, she knows how to do it. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Hmm.
Yeah. Just send it and be like, just send it to me. I just want to know. This is something that I'm into. La la la. And that's how you can get it. But my thing was about the first date question. It might not be a first date question, depending on the vibes, right? Always
Hmm.
check in on the vibes, feel out your gut. My generators like feel out, see what that's saying to you. Projectors feel your intuition because most of y'all are empaths. Like you
Like
feel
shit.
things, you feel things, and you're on point. And it's like,
Hmm.
ooh, the biggest journey for most of us is just to learn how to trust ourselves and trust those that information that we're getting.
Hmm.
Because the what the programming does to us, it makes us doubt ourselves. Like we're consistently doubting what is coming to us, and like we will go to hell and high water to prove ourselves wrong or right. But ultimately, a part of you knows that you knew. You know what I'm saying? A part of you
Yeah.
knows that you knew. Stop wasting your time when you know that this isn't the person for you. Like don't waste, like stop wasting the time. Stop wasting your time. Move on along. But when you're feeling the vibes with someone and you feel like you can express yourself and you're wanting to know, like if you know that you're a highly sexual human, if you know, I mean, you might not know, you might not know. And somebody might bring that out in you. And I mean, like, that is also something that happens. However, I think when it comes to dating, absolutely following your strategy, your human design strategy, is a powerful tool for generators. Sticking to your no when it's a no, saying yes when it's a yes. For projectors, feeling it out understanding whether this is the right invitation for you, trusting your intuition, trusting your emotions when they're telling you, run away, don't stay here. Now, trust that. Manifestors, y'all get to kind of put out there what it is that you want in a partner. Like you get to kind of call out to the human being that you're calling in, right? And you get to start going out and looking for that human. So also the apps are really good for generators. The apps are really good for generators. If you go on an app, if you're on, the Tinder, the Hinge, the Bumble, there's like a million, right? Plenty of fish, all the things. What are all the ones? Her app. There's all these apps. If you go on the apps, generators, just swipe according to what your gut response is, right? You look at it, you're responding. That's why the apps are good for generators because you're
Uh-huh.
responding.
And then I'm supposed to be sitting around waiting for somebody damn invitation. I don't think so. I ain't get on no apps. No, thank you. Projectors, we gotta figure out something else, boo boos, because waiting for the invitation just is not no. It's not the business though. That's like the worst part of being a projector is just like the waiting and then trying to figure out what to do in the waiting and then getting tired of waiting and then initiating and realizing you should have just set your ass down and waited. So you know what, projectors, I feel for y'all. Like I swear, like every time I'm around Sunshine, I get a little jealous because she's a manifester, right? But she doesn't, and you know what? She can come back and watch it, and she can slap me on my hand, but she doesn't use her powers. Like I want to take her manifestation powers and just shake. Like I'd be like, if you don't just open your mouth, because the minute she does, I promise you, things just happen for her. The minute she says what she wants to happen, and then she says it out loud, it happens. And I'm like, Sunshine, why are you not doing this on a regular basis? Like when we were trying to get her here, okay, mind you, she was like, the tickets was crazy, right? But the minute she spoke to the guy and was like, hey, he was like, what's wrong? And she was like, no, I'm not going to take it because it's 100, blah, blah. He was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah, if it was this, I get it. He was like, okay, I'll go in. And he changed how did the price drop by like 60%? Because you said what you wanted and it happened. It happens all the time when I'm around her. But it's like, I got to push her. And I feel like that's my projectorness. Is like, come on, man. You could just come on and do it. And then let me just say this one more thing. I love generators. And you know why? Because the right generators will ask for will invite you in. And when they invite you in, like they do have questions. And it feels so good to be needed. People don't realize that's what projectors are. We need to be needed for something. Like we need everybody to know that we know the answers, but we just can't say anything until you ask. But the minute you ask, baby, it's like an open what?
Lord, don't I know it? Listen, projectors be like so wanting to be invited and asked in that they'll come through ready with a whole book of feedback. You ask a projector to give you some feedback or some shit, I regretted it the minute I did it. Because I really didn't want all that feedback. It was like,
so true.
I'm going to have to redo this whole shit.
Right. But you know what? It's all love though. Like I promise you, it'd be all love. And it's so crazy. Enoch says go do something else while you're waiting for the invitation. And it's so true. You do need to do it's learning that though. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we've been programmed to be like generators. So we're waiting to respond. And so every time we see something, we want to respond when we gotta wait for a whole invitation. Like it's totally different than just seeing something and being like, ooh, it's plenty of shit to respond to in the world. It's always something going on to respond to. That's why, like, bing, bing, bing. Y'all like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. But us, we have to sit here and wait for somebody to actually say, dear squirrel, would you like to come to the party with us? And like, that's it's a little difficult, but yes, do something, I guess.
It is difficult. I feel for y'all, but also it's like there's something really beautiful about the process of waiting. And I feel like the most important piece to remember as a projector is that recognition part, right? So, like, you are literally sought out for your specialty, for your beauty, for who you are. That's why you're here. And why you have to go do something else while you're waiting is so that while you're doing that something else, you are really learning yourself. You are really getting into your pleasure. You know, I talked a little bit on my live today on Instagram about like attracts like, right? So you want somebody that's in their pleasure, so you be in your pleasure, right? You pursue the things that you want to pursue. You learn what works for you. You have yourself down pat, and then you're better able to attract that which is what you want in. And that is, there's, I think there's like such a beauty to that. There's such a beauty to that. I think the projector voice is so powerful, it's so strong. Like the projectors, and that exactly what you talked about with Sunshine, that's exactly what you're supposed to do as a projector. You're the guide. You guide people into their own being. You see people so very clearly. That's why y'all dangerous, and that's why you have to be invited.
She's here.
Oh, hi, Sunshine. You have to be invited because you're too fucking powerful.
Mm.
You
It's true,
you
it's like if you speak, I mean, like you're right. And it's like when when you have that much power, you need to be invited into. You can't just come in and and that's why it's important. I think that I think when I get with people or when I'm with somebody and they recognize you, it's really hard for projectors to let go of people and stuff, because of the fact that you've been recognized. And it's hard, it takes a long time for somebody to actually recognize, see you and see who you are as a whole. So a lot of times we get caught up in these relationships and these different partnerships for long periods of time because we've been recognized and we hadn't been recognized before. And I think that that's important. But yes, you heard, yes, good Sunshine, that's right. Speak, my beautiful little sister, and you will have it all. Like it just falls into her lap. It's so beautiful to see. And we were on Killer Priest's show, and I'm going to put that clip up where I told him you got to get a reading from Claudia, because Claudia is our human design expert. Yeah, I was talking about human design, but our expert is Claudia. And on Killer Priest's show, I was sitting there thinking like, oh my God, the whole time I'm thinking, I wish Claudia was here too to just push her just a little bit more and be like, Sunshine, you'll manifest that shit, because she does. She has that power. And every time I hear you speak about these different types and the profiles, I realize that is so on point. Whoever who channeled it, man, God bless him, because that has really been a safe. Like even with my daughter, I have a 6'3". Yeah, I heard that noise you made. You said,
mm,
yeah. I got a 6'3". Lessons on top of lessons on top of lessons on top of lessons on top of lessons on top of, you can't tell me shit. I'm about to learn it the hard way. And look, nobody listens to me. But when I heard you just talk about the 6'3" profile, like just watch you talk about it, I was like, yup. Now I've been saying it. I've been saying it. But now I know it makes sense. It's like, oh, that martyr that I got to learn. I got to sacrifice everything to learn this lesson the hardest way possible. Because it's just like, what the hell? Why? I can't tell you. No, no, no. I got to see it. I got to do it myself. And so, like, being a 6 and knowing that I went through that 3 line at some point in my life, but thank God I graduated, and knowing that she'll always be having that little repeated 3-ness and throughout her life, because that's that unconsciousness of her. I now know how to better support that because I know about human design. I didn't know what it was before. It was driving me damn crazy. But now I'm like, you was born that way, boo boo. It's the lessons you're gonna have to learn in this life. Like you built to go through it, but you'll get through it.
yes. So yes. In human design, so like I mentioned that first, and what I will say, generators and manifestors you have it kind of the easiest to experiment with. You can start experimenting with the right now. Literally yes or no questions for a generator. Literally just saying things, manifester. Like the thing is with manifestors, which let me say this real quick, is that we all have manifestation capabilities, right? We all, as human beings, are able to manifest. Oftentimes, we want something and we sometimes forget because we don't get it in an instant, right? We don't get it like
Mm.
we snap a finger and it shows up. So sometimes we like lose faith and we forget, and then we'll get it. We'll get the thing that we wanted, but we won't celebrate it. We won't acknowledge it. It's like we don't even remember. Like we get it, and it takes some real like awareness, right? It takes some real awareness of self to say, I asked for this, I wanted this, and I received it. With manifestors, it's very similar because they want things, they receive them. I've witnessed this. I've witnessed a manifestor literally get exactly what they asked for. And the thing is that they didn't realize, sometimes it's like you didn't realize what exactly it is that you wanted or what exactly it is you were asking for. Because I noticed it. It's like, okay, you said you wanted this. You said you wanted this, you got it. And oftentimes that's why a manifestor needs a good friend to be like, hey, look at this thing that you said you wanted. Look at it because it happened. And
Right.
I feel like I've done that with like my manifestor friends. I'm like, listen, like you asked for this and this happened. You asked for this happened. Like I can go down the list and I keep pointing out to all the points in which you received exactly what you said you wanted, and you are not acknowledging it because you refuse to acknowledge your power. It's like the conditioning is so strong that you don't want to admit how powerful you are, but you are
Mm-hmm.
so powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you weren't super specific in that manifestation, so you didn't get it exactly in the specific way that I guess you were envisioning it. But it did
Mm-hmm.
happen. It did happen. And now this is how you get better with your manifestations, when you actually start receiving the manifestations, acknowledging that you received the manifestation, and that's how you learn. Okay, so I got what I said, technically, but this is not what I exactly wanted. So now I get to ask for exactly what I envision in a clearer way so that I get closer to what it is that I actually want
Mm-hmm.
in a clearer way, right? This is what I want in a clear way. Believe in yourself, believe in your power because y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Mm.
And y'all got so many people around you, so many people around you that are here to support you. So I didn't see that last person that Sunshine said what
She
was.
said, she said, I realized I do get everything I want. It made me be more careful with my sarcasm. Yeah, I started
Yeah.
doing that in my diary, laugh out loud. Now I'm just having fun manifesting men cracking the fuck up. I know that's right. So look, you are powerful. And you know what? It's so crazy when you're around the different types, you can see their different powers. Like, and you can see that you Claudia definitely have projector channels because you act like a projector. When I first met you, I just knew you was a projector. Like when we started talking about human design, I just knew you're a projector, but you definitely have projector guidance type of channels. Even when I click on to your live, like today, I was like, really? I feel attacked. I feel like I need to just get off of here because she is talking directly to me. Like I was like, what the fuck? I just came on to say hello, and you just come and gonna attack me like this. But
Like, what did I do?
right, I'm like, really? Like that song strumming my pain with his fingers. Like, damn, you just singing my song all in front of everybody. But
And
yes.
listen, let me make that quick note. Yes, I have a lot of projector channels. And so I've learned that through intuitively. And so I tend to be quiet because I'm like, I'm gonna say some shit, it's gonna strike up a nerve. And so I do have to like practice that. And I do wait till I'm sought out. And that's why, I mean, I offer readings if you want more in depth, if you want, you know what I'm saying, come through. This is why I've made myself available. I'm available, right? And it's so funny. It's so funny that you say that because I just I get on my channel shit, you know what I'm saying? I open myself up to some messages and to deliver messages, and we talked about doing reading. One of these Tarot Tuesdays, I'll be here. You let me
Yes.
know. So, but the thing about it is, a lot of the things that I share on my Instagram, and I do lives pretty regularly. A lot of things that I share are from personal experience, and they're like true to me stories. And oftentimes I'm talking to me in the past, right? And I'm
Hmm.
talking to me at a certain point in time. And I've gotten the feedback several times from people that are like, you're talking to me and whatever. And I'm like, I am though. I am talking to you. But also understand that this is coming. This is like coming down. And it's just lessons that have been learned that are navigated. And they are collective lessons. They are
Yes.
collective lessons. And so we are, and the beauty of human design and why I love it is because it just gives you more understanding on the collective energy and how energy bounces off of each other. And it's speaking to the aura, it's speaking to the energetic field, which is what my passion is. Now, with all that said, I do have to say that my battery about to die.
Yeah, so is our producer. So what I'm gonna say is this: I can see it as a facet of light, like a diamond, like, and it hits everybody. Your messages hit, even though you're speaking, it's a message and it hits all of us differently, right? In different dimensions. And so it's gonna shine differently. And that's why we have to learn our own beauty, like your light hits you this way. You're a manifestor. Mine is a projector. Yours is a generator. I gotta wait. You gotta do this. We all got conditions we gotta live under in order to achieve our highest self. So,
Yeah.
you guys, I just want to thank you for tapping in tonight. This has been a beautiful human design tap in. Sister, we got to do this every month. We got to get back onto it. I love it. I always miss it when we don't do it. So we will be back next month. I will roll out the calendar for August real soon, y'all. Anything else you want to add before I wrap it up tonight?
So you can find me on IG at Amor Personified. And I'll be back here doing Tarot Tuesday, and then on in August we're gonna do human design. I love looking at graphs, body graphs. So if you have a chance, I know Foxy sends out the link. Oftentimes I put it up too on my stories and Instagram. Feel free to follow me for more information. And next episode, if we pull some charts so we can get a little bit more in depth, you can come with questions and we can get into that. I would love that.
Yes. Absolutely. Star Seeds. It's been a beautiful night. Now make sure you tap in this Sunday. I'm thinking it's this Sunday. I got to check it again with Mr. Perry, but Perry should be here this Sunday. Next Tuesday, Bella LaFleur will be joining us. So all three of our Star Seeds will have been in the building for July. And then next month, we are bringing Persia Red. That's right. Persia has accepted our invitation to become the fourth. No, actually the fifth, because we have Enoch Seventh Prophet, who is our producer. So Persia will be the fifth star seed to join us here on Pronoia Star Seed Podcast, meaning you will be seeing her at least once a month. So thank you, Persia. Thank you, Claudia, for a wonderful human design. Yes, I invited Claudia back for Tarot Tuesdays. I also going to invite her back just for Girls Talk. Like, because she has knowledge beyond, like, her knowledge is extensive. We do human design once a month, but sometimes she starts doing those little lives. I'll be like, oh, you got to come talk about that. You got to talk about this and that. So shout out to you, Claudia. Thank you for being here tonight and
You
every
know
month.
what? Thank you for having me. I'm always grateful to be in this space. You know, I love the Goddess Sundays when we did that, the
Oh
Soulful
yes,
Sundays.
yes,
Oh
we doing that.
my gosh. So I'm in. You already know. You already
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Yay, yay. Shout out to you too, Sunshine. Thank you for joining us. Everybody who tapped in, Jackie, Enoch, everybody. You know that the universe is always working in your favor. This is Pronoia Star Seed Podcast. Y'all have a good night. There's my face. Love you. Good night. Peace.
Ayy. Sunshine Monet. With the affirmations
peace,
to enjoy your day with. Sunshine Monet.
You are listening to Chakra Music.
I came through with intentions of destruction. You said you wanted freedom, well it's me then that you wanted. I moved in gratitude as my soul was being summoned. The consciousness has returned, Christ is really coming. I make these flows for the souls that's rich in indigo. I made some goals for they glow since they was embryos. Access the records, they lectures, keep your principles. Enemies infect you, don't let them reach your pinnacles. Reversing curses that's embedded in religions. They wound up in your soul, that's why you feel tension. I'm remixing declensions before Sumerians existed. It's something in the water, don't get caught, you'll get acidic. I bury enemies, pay pinnacles to the witness. You say my name in threes, I appear in your vision. Write Iliads in me, I'm the witcher in your system. Silly as can be, there's no opposite in infinite. I'm the goddess of crossroads, touching all directions. With the skull and crossbones that cause to the vexes. I applaud the protectors, I'm the god of inflection. They see the demon in me and still pause the respecters. I need no translation, vibrating from universe. My throat mansplaining while my yoni do the work. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts.
Enoch 7 prophet, move like the full winds do. My energy is useful, my thoughts are old school. So I move with a Bob Slim. Say I'm sexy, haircut like Anita Baker, real lovely. Caught up in the rapture, it's kinda risque. Kisses and faces on public is real frisky. Touche.
You are listening to Chakra Music.
Mask off.